Welcome to Gather for Wellness Radio. I'm your host, Becky Litwicki, and it's Wellness Wednesday, which means we get to connect with another kindred spirit to expand our health and happiness and move one step closer to discovering our own magic formula for optimal wellness. Today, I'm so happy to share my conversation with Elizabeth Spicher, who has played a key role on my own personal wellness team. Elizabeth is a licensed acupuncturist, board-certified herbalist, and the co-owner of Geneva Acupuncture and Bodyworks. Here's a sneak peek.
It encompasses many different things, and it really relaxes and puts the body into a parasympathetic state so that the body can naturally heal itself. Because when you're always in that sympathetic or fight or flight, stressed out state, your body can't heal.
Yeah.
So.
Hi, Elizabeth. Thank you so much for sitting down to talk with me today.
Thanks, Becky. It's wonderful.
You're welcome. So a couple years, maybe a year and a half ago, I came to Elizabeth with, I actually came to her for some support with my hormones and restarting my menstrual cycle, which she's been a phenomenal help with. So Elizabeth today is going to share a little bit about acupuncture and some of the other incredible tools that she uses to help people heal their bodies. But first, can you start by telling people a little bit about yourself and what led you to being an acupuncturist and herbalist?
Kind of started a long time ago. My mom would go to acupuncture and chiropractic, and I would just be in the room with her, getting, just watching her get the acupuncture and chiropractic, and it always intrigued me. And she's always been into nutrition and healing naturally without drugs or medications. And so I would look at her nutrition books and kind of just investigate, what could heal things naturally, such as, I commonly had a lot of allergies and sinus infections. And I'm like, well, how can I do this without taking over-the-counter medications?
Yeah.
And, so that's
a
how
good
it started.
Yeah,
I was always delving into books and looking up information.
When did you start getting your first acupuncture? Was it when you were little still, or did you wait?
Well, I hated needles. So my mom, I injured some tendons playing soccer, and my mom convinced me to get acupuncture, and was very scared, but did it, and my tendons healed a lot quicker than they would on their own, according to the orthopedist. And, my mom said that, she used acupuncture, and of course he was like, yeah, whatever.
He didn't want to buy into that.
Yeah, he didn't want to buy into that. It helped, but it helped heal me a lot quicker.
Very cool. So you were hooked from that point on.
I was, yeah. And I continued to get it for sinus infections and just stress and some sleep issues and
Cool.
System.
Cool. Can you tell people kind of an overview of what acupuncture is, like what is actually happening when you're being a human pincushion, and like a little bit of the science behind that?
Sure. So in acupuncture we talk about qi, and qi is we call it the energy. Some people call it the life force. And Western medicine, I would consider that more of like just blood flow and neurochemicals that are found naturally in the body. So like when an individual is getting acupuncture, I insert thin, fine size needles into the body, into acupuncture points along the so-called meridians, which they're finding out are possibly vascular meridians in the lymph tissue. And then it creates signals to the brain, which then are released, that can trigger numerous different functions in the body, such as releasing serotonin and dopamine to help with emotions and cravings. It helps with the hypopituitary axis to help with fertility and reproductive issues, menstrual conditions. Releases natural painkillers in the body for pain. And then it also affects the somatic autonomic nervous system to regulate the GI and the gut and the heart function.
Yeah.
So it it encompasses many different things, and it really relaxes and puts the body into a parasympathetic state so that the body can naturally heal itself. Because when you're always in that sympathetic or fight or flight, stressed out state, your body can't heal.
Yeah.
So.
I remember hearing, I think it was Megan Telpner, who's a nutrition coach in Canada. She was talking about, she was working to heal her Crohn's disease, and she did acupuncture like every day of the week for like, it was a long period of time. And she said for her, just forcing herself to lay there for that long every day of the week, that in itself, like with acupuncture aside, it was like forced meditation almost. And I know Jeremy and I have both said, like, I feel like just going today, but I gotta go lay down. I know it's gonna be hard, but yeah, I mean, like that piece of it tied with the powerful effect of the acupuncture points and things they can be pretty incredible.
Yeah. And I've had patients, say that as well, that, it's kind of like their 30-minute, meditation or time to themselves to really just zen out and find some peace in their daily lives.
Yeah. We need to get all parents in here.
Exactly. No
kids allowed.
Yeah. Or children that are stressed.
Yes. Well, that too. Yeah. What are some of your top conditions or like favorite, not even favorite, but just like the top symptoms and things that acupuncture is good for healing or addressing?
Well, the World Health Organization has said like over 30 or 50 different conditions.
Wow.
But insurance definitely covers pain. It's been studied over and over that acupuncture definitely helps relieve pain and inflammation. But the most conditions that I guess I see in my clinic are definitely fertility or menstrual related, such as or menopausal, hot flashes, the anxiety that goes along with it, insomnia, but painful periods. I see a lot of digestive issues, IBS, constipation, and headaches are another big one, whether they're headaches or migraines. But I also see not rare conditions, but Bell's palsy is one that not a lot of people maybe are familiar with, but it's very, very common in China. And if you get in here right away, I mean, you can knock it out. Bell's palsy, which is basically a paralysis of the face, in 3 or 5 sessions, and you got your facial functions back.
Wow.
So I've treated 3 different Bell's palsy patients. It can help with stroke victims, MS patients, Parkinson's. Definitely different conditions take longer to treat, and every individual is a little bit different. Some people, like children, have a lot of, we say, young energy, which is easier to or takes less time to treat. Okay. They heal.
That makes sense.
Heal a lot quicker.
Kids do heal very fast.
Yeah, exactly.
So I know as like a medical professional, it has to be tough sometimes because it might take several treatments to help somebody overcome symptoms or something, but when you're only seeing them for 1 hour every week or every month or whatever their care plan is, I know that's probably tough for you as a medical professional to want to help them but only have such a small amount of time. So is that where you decide to bring herbs in to kind of help them when they're off on their own as well and bring healing and aid in that way?
Yes, definitely. My herbs are similar to the nutrition that I loved as a child, and I do work with nutrition with my patients. And I think a lot of acupuncturists do, even if they aren't herbalists, they work with nutrition. But as an herbalist, it was just an extra step that I took in school, and that I feel that just helps provide extra relief, and for time that the patient isn't allowed or isn't able to get into the office. And it just creates an extra boost, because the herbs, even though they're plants and minerals and parts of trees and roots and things like that. I mean, they have great healing abilities, and can just help further the effects of the treatment and prolong the effects.
Right.
So, I mean, they've been studied to help with, increasing like anti-inflammatory effects, and even having like a blood thinning effect similar to like taking an aspirin. So they can create pain relieving effects. They also have calming effects to help relax the body and put you into a sleep like or help you go to sleep if you have insomnia. Produce different GABA or serotonin, depending on the herbs. Help with gut motility.
So I remember when I first started using like supplements and homeopathic things and herbs, my dad was like, okay, what's the difference between taking a medicine that's going to have that result and using a homeopathic or a herbal or a supplemental treatment? He's like, you're still trying to change what the body's doing. And I now understand kind of the difference, but it took me a long time to really get that. So what is your take on that? What is the big difference between like if you're going to take herbs that would be maybe blood thinning, what's the difference between taking an herb to have that effect versus taking the aspirin that's going to cause the same effect?
Sure. Well, just from what I understand, the herbs, they're not synthesized like drugs or medicines that are over the counter, so they don't have the same side effects. There can be some GI discomfort at first when you start taking an herb maybe that you've never taken before, but they don't have the effects of affecting the liver or the stomach that a medicine such as an aspirin or Tylenol can have. Because they aren't synthesized, they do take longer to show an effect in individuals, and some people, depending on their genetics, they might take longer to see the effects. And it's just really up to the practitioner to really educate the patient and let them understand that it can take a little bit longer. And when the body's trying to heal itself, it's not always as quick as taking a cortisone shot or something to reduce inflammation. And I think it just in our society, we like that quick effect. But when you're trying to heal the body naturally and not have those side effects, it takes a little bit longer.
But I think too, like, so if you're taking the aspirin and you stop taking the aspirin, it's like a water hose, like you turn it off, right? There is no more relief or results from the medicine if you're not taking the medicine, whereas the herbs, eventually you can stop taking them, right? And it's hopefully at that point your body would have been aided in healing and is able to do what the herbs were assisting it with, right? Exactly.
I mean, because similar to the acupuncture, it is affecting the different chemicals and neurochemicals in the brain and inflammation and blood circulation. So it helps the body just to learn how to function properly. Say we're talking about fertility, and a patient has PCOS, it helps the body to calm the release of LH, so that the body isn't producing those cysts, and help regulate the blood insulin, so the body's not producing so much testosterone and things like that. So it's helping it adjust and better regulate normally than just taking birth control, which you're just giving the body these hormones, and then once you stop taking them, you're no longer making those hormones.
Right.
So then it like the body almost is like at a standstill. Like, hold on,
what
wait
now?
a minute, what's going on? What do I do now? Where am I?
Yeah. Cool. My sister, I remember after she saw a workshop that you were in, was asking like how does like herbal tea compared to the herbs that you use. So can you talk a little bit about that?
You can get some Chinese herbs, and I say Chinese, they're not all from China. And you can find some herbal teas at the store, and they're great, and they're just not in a medicinal, they don't have the medicinal effects that some of the dosages that I work with can. So they do help the body for sure. I love them. I buy them myself. They give the body a little boost in the right direction, but it's not that medicinal or therapeutic dosage.
Not as intense.
Exactly, not as intense. That you might find from an herbalogist.
Good.
So definitely, they definitely do work, and I love them, and use them for sure. So
me too. When I was in one day for an appointment, I had the start of a sore throat, and this might be tricky since we're on audio, but you told me to press on this acupressure point on my thumb, and I swear, a couple months later, I had a sore throat starting, and I did that, and it was gone, and it never came back, and I was so excited. So can we talk people through, your top 3 to 5 acupressure points and what they're good for and kind of how to use it?
One of the favorite points for the beginning of a sore throat would be on the outside of the thumb, and it's closer on the nail bed to the proximal part of the body, and it's about a couple centimeters from the corner of the nail bed, like I said, on the outside of the thumb, and you're just going to use your nail. I like to use a nail, or maybe you can even use the end of a pen tip, that's, not with ink, or just, kind of a little bit of a pressure, and just, massage it until you get a dull ache for about 2, 3 to 5 minutes. And you'll be able to feel the symptoms go away. And that's best for the beginning of a sore throat, or even a dry throat. And a couple of my other favorite points that I use would be for a headache. We call it Lingu or Li4. It's right at the thick muscle belly between the thumb and the forefinger, kind of that webbing that you see there, and kind of just find the middle of that area and just push around for a tender spot, which will be tender if you have a headache, and you can try either side. Typically, I like to use the opposite side of the headache, just because of the way that the signals in the brain cross. So if your headache's on the left side, you can try using the right side of that webbing first. That's also a great area to treat stuffy nose as well. And again, working on the hand, if you go towards the pinky side of the hand, and you find the where the finger meets the actual palm of the hand, there's a bone there, your metacarpal bone, and just at the edge of the bone, and we say between the red and the white of the skin, so kind of like how your hand is darker on the outside and it's lighter or pinkier on the inside. So you just find the little area where kind of the areas meet, and we call that SI3. Great for neck pain. So if you have neck pain, and just the kind of the trick with it is to move your neck while you're pressing on that location, and you want to use a good deal of pressure, and just kind of find the tender spot and massage it, like I said, for 3 to 5 minutes. And then my other favorite point to use for stress and menstrual issues is we call liver 3, and it's actually, this one's on the foot, between the big toe and the toe next to it, or the first or second digit, and just kind of work your way from the webbing up until you feel a little divot in the bones, and that's typically liver 3, and it really helps with just irritability, or we say moving the chi, so with menstrual issues or menstrual pain, and there's many different functions, but those are kind of some of the common ones that maybe listeners would like to use it for. So if you're feeling a little grumpy and you're not sure why, just rub
massage your toe.
Massage your toe. Exactly.
Good. Those are good. You can't do those wrong, really, right?
No, you can't. Just finding. And some people are, they might be, feeling their leg or getting a massage, and they're like, oh, wow, that spot was, that's really sore. I didn't know that was really sore. Yeah, just massage the body, because, you have, nerves all over, and that just activates the nervous system and helps regulate it. The ears are another common one. If you have maybe a mischievous child that likes to get into trouble or is a little rambunctious, doesn't like to settle down, massage their ears, and it'll help calm them down. It's very relaxing.
I think some kids tend to do that too, like when they're tired, right? Like they instinctually know almost.
Exactly. It's very relaxing.
We probably all know. We just sometimes, I think, get too busy to
and forget
to hear those cues.
Yeah.
All right. If time or money were not an option, what would you want more of?
That's a good question, Becky. Probably, if I only had to choose one, would be being outdoors and being in nature and just walking. I love to be active, like to work out, and owning a business is very time consuming, and sometimes those things get put on the back burner. Yeah. So I would definitely love just to be able to take an hour and be outside more.
That's one of my favorite things too.
Yeah.
If you only had 5 minutes to create better wellness, what would you do?
Definitely doing probably yoga breathing, or in Chinese medicine it's very similar. We say Qigong, which is the art of breathing and body movements that activate the channels, which yoga does very similarly. So breathing and drinking more water.
All good ones.
Yeah.
Especially with this heat, I gotta do really good with that and remind myself. Always plenty of water. Okay, and then the last question, just for fun. It'll be fine. Yeah. What is one of your recipes for happiness?
I think I read a quote that said, an attitude of gratitude brings opportunities. So, after taking a life book course, actually with Becky, I've learned that, just being grateful for what you have and looking around you and seeing, what you have and how, you've gotten it, and, maybe other people in the world don't have those things. I remember when Puerto Rico was having water shortages and they can only use their water for 2 days a week. I was like, I am so grateful that I can take a shower every day and not have that, taken away from me. So it's just, the little small things in life that you have to be grateful for, that, I'm able to drive or have water. Yeah. So, just an attitude of gratitude.
Yeah. Well, I am grateful for you. I'm so thankful for everything you've done for me and for coming to share with others.
So, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for joining us for today's episode of Gather for Wellness Radio. The information provided on this podcast and on gatherforwellness.com is not intended to replace a one-on-one relationship with a qualified healthcare professional and is not intended to be taken as medical advice. Becky encourages you to make your own healthcare decisions based upon your research and in partnership with a qualified healthcare professional. The entire contents of this website and podcast are based upon the opinions of Becky Litwicki and her guests, unless otherwise noted. The information provided is for entertainment purposes only.